right now on 12 News at 10.
I'm Chase Golightly. A person of interest in the Nancy Guthrie disappearance who was never charged is now threatening to sue the Pima County Sheriff's Department. What we know coming up.
I'm meteorologist Chris Dunn. Even for the end of July and early August, this is extreme heat for Arizona. We'll check out your weather impact forecast coming up.
I'm Maria Stobbs in Tempe. As extreme heat continues to hit the valley, those experiencing homelessness are at risk. Coming up, we'll show you how one Tempe nonprofit is stepping in to fill the gap as shelter waitlists continue to grow.
And a Phoenix man who has lost nearly all of his eyesight is still making and selling tortillas as he's done for years. You'll hear his inspiring story.
12 News at 10 starts now.
Good evening. A somber milestone in Tucson. Tomorrow will mark 6 months since Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie, was last seen alive. Thanks for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Mark Curtis. The Pima County Sheriff's Department released a statement saying investigators continue to pursue every credible lead. But as the search continues, a man from Rio Rico is threatening to take legal action against the department, saying that he was wrongfully detained during the investigation. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly joins us live in the studio with a notice of claim that's been filed. Chase?
Mark, that man was never charged, but says in this notice of claim the experience he had with law enforcement made himself feel like he was kidnapped.
Before this entire situation happened, you didn't know there was a kidnapping.
I didn't know anything.
That's 36-year-old Carlos Palazuelos, speaking with us shortly after he was released from the Pima County Sheriff's Department's custody. Detectives at the time believing he may be connected to the disappearance of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie.
I didn't do anything, to be honest. I'm innocent.
He, along with his mother-in-law and brother-in-law, are now threatening to sue the Sheriff's Department for assault, false arrest, defamation, and more. On February 10th, shortly after Guthrie was last seen alive, Palazuelos was driving for DoorDash when the notice of claim says he was pulled over and arrested by law enforcement at gunpoint. He was placed in handcuffs as authorities searched his car and Rio Rico home. The claim says deputies invaded and ransacked the home, causing significant property damage. Josephina Maddox, the mother-in-law, telling us about it that night.
They're just invading my property. I told them they're going in and out of my house, taking a lot of pictures and everything. Like I told them, we're not hiding anything.
Court documents also mention this social media post by the Sheriff's Department saying they detained a subject who was currently being questioned in connection to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. Less than 24 hours later, Palazuelos was released and never charged. However, his attorneys said the department has refused to clear Carlos's name and have forced him to live under a cloud of suspicion since the time of his arrest. The whole situation causing him physical, emotional, and reputational harm. It also reveals they still don't know what led authorities to Palazuelos. He told us it was an anonymous tip, but the search warrant is still sealed. The document claims since Palazuelos is innocent, the warrant was obtained through deceptive representations based on, quote, shoddy police work and did not establish probable cause. In total, his attorneys are asking for more than $3 million to settle this case. I reached out to the Pima County Sheriff's Department for comment on the notice of claim, but they declined, saying they do not comment on pending litigation. We're live in the studio. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Chase, thanks. Meanwhile, tonight, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos said that hair found inside Nancy Guthrie's home has been tested, but did not lead to a suspect. Nanos says additional DNA recovered from the home is still being analyzed at labs across the country. He still believes that DNA evidence could eventually help authorities find the suspect. And remember, to catch up on the investigation, you can watch the 12 News Nancy Guthrie special anytime on the 12 News streaming app. It features exclusive interviews you'll only see on 12 News surrounding the abduction and disappearance. You can download the app anytime on your smart TV. Our weather impact alert continues for the valley tomorrow with some of the hottest temperatures of the year still ahead. Let's get right to meteorologist Chris Dunn. And Chris, we could break even more records this weekend.
Yeah, there are a couple of records, and I'll outline those coming up for the weekend. But this is really telling right here. 115, 116, 115, 114. Each individual day We have been hotter than this. 117 is the hottest so far this summer. But collectively, what we've already experienced and what we will go through this weekend into next week is going to be the hottest stretch of weather that we've seen so far this year. 104 in Sedona tomorrow. Yes, Sedona. You had some cooling showers earlier. 89 in Flagstaff. 115 in Phoenix, and close to, but not quite 120, Bullhead City, Lake Havasu City. 120 is a possibility along the Colorado River this weekend. Now, Saturday and Sunday in the Phoenix area, 116, 115, I think it will tie a record and possibly break the record that was set just last year of 114 on Sunday. And then Tuesday's high of 112, well, that will fall short of the record high of 116. So through this weekend, actually through Tuesday, when you have a weather impact alert for the extreme heat. Could be dangerous for some people, so hang out indoors during the hottest time of the day, basically 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We're still at the 10 o'clock hour, still 104 right now, but at least the humidity has come down just a little bit. That's going to change next week as the monsoon makes a resurgence. We'll talk more about that coming up. Mark?
Chris, thanks. Well, these temperatures can be a nuisance, but for people without a safe place to stay, they can be deadly. And for some Valley families, getting into an emergency shelter can take weeks, sometimes even months. 12 News journalist Maria Staub shows us how one Tempe nonprofit is trying to fill that gap.
Right now, several families with nowhere else to turn are staying here at this Motel 6 off of Scottsdale and McKellips. Their rooms paid for by Tempe-based nonprofit AZ Hugs.
A little relief, you know? A little stress off my back.
After his family was evicted and his car broke down, Fred Estrada says he was left searching for a safe place to stay with his 4 young children.
No, I haven't been in a situation before. And it's rough out here because, you know, it normally isn't this hot.
That heat can turn deadly, especially for people without a safe place to escape it. So far this year, Maricopa County has recorded 40 heat-related deaths. That's more than double the 17 reported at this point last year, according to county data. About 1/3 of those deaths involved people experiencing homelessness.
You know, they're probably like me and you and just hit rock bottom.
That's where Austin Davis and his nonprofit AZ Hugs step in, providing food, resources, and temporary motel rooms to dozens of families every night waiting for shelter.
The goal is to transition families as quickly as possible from the motels to a shelter or to housing. But because the wait list for shelter is so long, we're finding it really, really difficult to transition families, from the motels to shelter.
With extreme heat adding even more urgency, community members gathered Thursday for a fundraiser event supporting the nonprofit's efforts.
We have to talk about, when the system isn't working. We have to be upfront about that, and we have to have community conversations.
Davis is now asking Governor Katie Hobbs to declare a state of emergency on family homelessness in Arizona, saying it could unlock additional funding and expand shelter options.
It is just a fundamental problem, though, that there's a 2 to 3 month wait list for family shelter, nowhere to go in the most immediate sense, and it's 115 out here.
Until then, Davis says they'll continue helping families like Fred's get back on their feet.
It's good that he was able to help us get in somewhere to stay. It beats the heat, and they've been helping every day, so it'd be nice if other people could help them too.
We've reached out to the governor's office regarding the petition for an emergency declaration, but have not yet heard back. In Tempe, Maria Staubs, 12 News.
Maria, thanks. A 3-year-old boy was pulled out of an above-ground pool in Mesa today. It happened near University and Signal Butte Road. Officials say the boy wasn't breathing or conscious when emergency crews arrived. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. It's unknown how long the child was in the water. This afternoon, fire crews responded to an RV fire near 35th Avenue in Roosevelt. When they arrived, they saw smoke and flames coming from an RV in the front yard of a home, with the fire then spreading to a shed. Firefighters quickly put out the flames. 2 people were checked for smoke inhalation. The cause of the fire still being investigated. New at 10, from prepping homes for painting to selling homemade tortillas on the side of the road. A Phoenix man did a little of everything until a medical emergency changed his life in an instant. 12 News journalist Tiani Jadalang is here after speaking with him today. And Tiani, what happened?
Mark, Eliud Villa-Garcia says it all started with a medical emergency back in 2022. Within a week, he lost his vision. Now he's found a new way to provide for his family.
This is a typical day for Eliud Villa-Garcia.
He's making flour tortillas, but what makes his story different, he's doing it visually impaired.
Todavía le falta.
For the past 2 years, he's been selling his homemade tortillas near 43rd Avenue and Bethany Home Road.
Ahora estoy de martes a sábado.
I work Tuesday through Saturday. I'm there from 10 a.m. until they're all gone.
Before that, he spent 15 years prepping walls and windows for paint jobs until a medical emergency changed everything.
Sentía como un dolor aquí en mi nuca.
I started with an ache in the back of my head. Everything started to become inflamed. I started to lose my vision, and within 1 week, everything became dark.
He went to the hospital where he says doctors told his family the infection could have turned deadly.
Me dijeron que
The doctor told me if this went on, I would have died.
He tried to return to work, but it didn't last.
Y para él fue muy difícil también, ¿verdad?
They were very tough times because my husband became visually impaired. We were renting, we have to leave the apartment, the kids were younger. This happened 4 years ago.
With his wife Adalberta and their son becoming the family's main providers, Villa Garcia wanted to find a way to help.
I like to work hard. It brings in little money. I get about $50 to $60 a day, but I get to bring it to my family.
He taught himself how to make tortillas by feel.
y me dice que cómo le hago para hacerla, pero yo las hago.
People ask me, well, how do I make them? I think it's my faith in Jesus Christ.
He's transformed his entire kitchen into a space to help make the dozens of tortillas he sells almost every day. Through this, he's helped his family secure their own apartment 6 months ago, something his daughter says means everything.
He decided to think more on the brighter side and be more faithful that all this isn't permanent, no matter who tells me that it is permanent.
Today, Villa Garcia says selling tortillas is about more than making money. It gives him purpose.
It makes me happy that people get to buy my tortillas. When I'm here at home, I'm anxious. When I'm out, I'm happy talking to people, socializing.
Villa Garcia says doctors have told him surgery may help his vision, but there are no guarantees. It's a risk he's willing to take when he raises the money. Live in studio, I'm Tiani Jadaling, 12 News.
Tiani, thanks. Still ahead tonight, why Netflix is being sued for allegedly losing a master copy of a brand new unreleased movie. And Trump-backed Freedom 250 is asking for more funding, why the group says they need the money. Coming up in sports, a youth baseball team from the Valley has its eyes set on the Little League World Series. Cam has the details on what it'll take for them to get there. And at 10:13, let's give you a live look over downtown Phoenix. Keep it right here. 12 News at 10 is coming right back.